What could be more terrifying than a king cobra? Another king cobra. In these rare and shocking moments, the world's longest venomous snake turns on its own kind. Coiling, overpowering, and devouring a rival in a silent but brutal battle. Captured on camera, these scenes reveal a chilling side of survival few ever witness. Prepare to witness the most brutal scenes of king cobras cannibalizing their own kind. Let's dive in. The king cobra, the longest venomous snake on the planet, capable of exceeding 5 meters, lives up to its name, Ophiophagus, the snake eater. It not only hunts its own kind, but also preys on its own kind. Today, its target was a large, non-venomous rat snake. While the rat snake was busy chasing a rodent, danger silently approached from behind. The bite was instantaneous. The fangs pierced, and neurotoxic venom was injected directly into the body. Disrupting motor signals in a short time. Speed, the rat snake's only advantage, became meaningless. Once resistance ceased, the king cobra began to swallow. Thanks to its flexible jaw structure with elastic ligaments, it could open its mouth wide enough to swallow prey nearly as large, or even significantly larger, than its head diameter. The prey, firmly gripped, still tried to turn and retaliate, launching desperate bites. But with a length that can exceed 5 meters, the king cobra quickly overpowered it. Maintaining a distance close enough to control it, but safe enough to avoid accurate counterattacks. Its blood contains proteins that reduce the effects of venom from many other snake species. So retaliatory bites offer little advantage. Just a few minutes later, its resistance weakened. Its jaws tightened. The smaller snake was quickly swallowed whole. In the reptile world, size often dictates who holds the power of life and death. In the forest floor, a giant king cobra raised its front body. Facing a much smaller black cobra. Without rushing, it simply raised itself to nearly the same height as its opponent, its length advantage allowing it to control the distance from the start. The bite was incredibly short but precise, locking onto the head. King cobras are not only strong, but also expert snake hunters, with large venom glands allowing them to inject a powerful dose of neurotoxin in a single bite. Just seconds later, the cobra's body swelled uncontrollably. As the movement subsided, the giant began to swallow, slowly and surely. Amidst the damp, decaying leaves, the king cobra unexpectedly chose a daring target, a giant reticulated python. The python reacted instantly. Its thick muscular coils tightened with enough force to constrict the lungs and block blood flow. In just a few minutes, any predator could be exhausted. But before being completely immobilized, the king cobra struck. Its fangs sank deep into its opponent's body. Neurovenom began to take effect, silently attacking the musculoskeletal system. As the coils lost their precision, the king cobra seized the moment, slithering higher and maintaining its grip. The battle didn't last long. When the python could no longer maintain the pressure, the outcome was decided. In the jungle, brute strength can be terrifying, but sometimes a single precise moment is enough to turn the tide. The spitting cobra and the puff adder. Two of Africa's most dangerous venomous snakes employ completely opposite tactics. The puff adder relies on its thick body, rough, armor-like skin, and its habit of lying still to wait for its opponent to make a mistake. It rarely chases, only counterattacking when cornered. But tonight, the spitting cobra was the aggressor. Instead of recklessly lunging, it launched probing bites and immediately withdrew. This bite and release strategy allowed it to assess its opponent's weakness without putting itself within striking range. The puff adder was slow to maneuver due to its heavy body. The moment its neck was exposed, the cobra seized the opportunity, locking onto its vulnerable spot. Then, slowly dragging its prey away, against the backdrop of a dense, leaf-strewn forest, a black racer snake hunts its prey, not in ambush, but actively searching. Amidst the damp, dark camouflage, it spots its target, a young cottonmouth, a viper with extremely potent, tissue-destroying venom. A risky choice. Racer relies on its keen eyesight and keen senses to track its prey.
Pinning its head beneath its body.
It understands it has no immunity, so it must strike first. The moment the distance is close enough, Racer lunges. Cottonmouth reacts swiftly, launching a counter-bite. But Racer retracts its body just in time, twisting and locking onto its head, the only point of escape. The battle lasts only a few seconds. Once the opponent's head is under control, all danger disappears. In the jungle, speed and decisiveness are what determine who survives and who becomes its meal.
The racer worked its jaw.
The rat snake, engrossed in its hunt, inadvertently encountered an indigo snake.
You get away. Certainly is.
One of North America's most formidable predators. The indigo snake didn't wait. It closed in immediately, launching a relentless attack before its opponent could even assess the danger. After several missed bites, the speed advantage was no longer enough to save the rat snake. Unlike many other snakes, the indigo snake doesn't rely on constriction.
King snakes.
Its jaws are incredibly strong, enough to hold and overpower its prey until resistance weakens. Importantly, it can withstand the venom of most snakes in the area, an advantage that renders counterattacks almost useless. Once it gained control of the head, it began swallowing immediately. Swallowing from the head not only locks the bite direction, but also helps the scales follow the body's contours, minimizing friction. On the scorching hot rocks of the wilderness, Mussurana silently followed a faint scent in the dry air. Ahead, a jararaca lay at rest, completely unaware of the danger approaching from behind. In an instant, Mussurana lunged, coiling tightly around its prey. The jararaca counterattacked fiercely, delivering a series of bites laced with potent blood-venomous venom.
Vê se você consegue a sonha na jararaca aí, ela está usando a presa inoculadora de peçonha.
But Mussurana's evolutionary advantage lay in its venom resistance, rendering its prey's most dangerous weapon almost ineffective.
A diferença aí é que a Mussurana já a jararaca pode morder a Mussurana ao veneno da jararaca e da cascavel. Ó, a jararaca não tá mais nem sonha. E assim ela iria aí.
The constricting rings tightened, not to crush bones, but to gradually cut off blood flow.
Uma peçonha poderosíssima que ela.
The jararaca's movements weakened noticeably.
Conseguindo achar, tá inquieto. Olha, eu tenho mostrado os meus conhecimentos que ela chegou na cabeça da jararaca, aí pegou pela cabeça.
When the resistance ceased, Mussurana adjusted its jaws, beginning to swallow from the head. A cold, decisive end, where adaptation determines survival.
Deixando marcado sempre em contato. Olha como ela engole rápido. Em contato com os vídeos do rei.
The California king cobra, famous for hunting its own kind thanks to its exceptional venom tolerance, today encountered what seemed like an easy prey, the regal. Confidently approaching, the California king cobra was about to constrict when the regal unexpectedly counterattacked. A straight lunge to the head, locking down at the most critical moment. The California king cobra can neutralize many types of viper venom, but the regal possesses a special venom gland, with its hind fangs secreting a potent toxin that affects the reptile's nervous system. The bite held long enough for the venom to take effect. The California king cobra's body began to err in its movements, each constriction losing its strength. A rare sight, the expert cannibal now under the control of its underestimated opponent. The Malayan krait, one of the most venomous snakes in Southeast Asia, silently approached its familiar prey. A sunbeam with iridescent scales shimmering in the light. The sunbeam is not venomous. It resisted with all its muscular strength, constricting fiercely to escape. But the krait didn't need to fight. It simply held on tight, steadily chewing deeper to pump large amounts of neurotoxin into the bloodstream, a venom that could quickly disrupt signals between the brain and muscles. Initially, the constrictions were powerful. Then the movements became erratic. The pressure weakened. The constricting rhythm became uncontrollable. In the final moment, the sunbeam mustered all its remaining strength, twisted free from the deadly grip, and darted away in chaos. These rare encounters remind us that in the wild, survival has no loyalty. Even apex predators become prey when instinct takes over. Nature is ruthless, and dominance is never permanent. If these shocking moments left you stunned, don't forget to like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more rare wildlife footage caught on camera. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next intense encounter.